Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for allowing us to be here. I'm Greg Williams with the City of North Long Beach. I'm the Manager of Public Affairs. I've been with the city for 19 years, and throughout my tenure with the city, I've been here when I was Utility Neighborhood Coordinator, and I used to come and speak with you about any concerns you've had. And we've always tried to address your concerns. It's not always that we were successful. Some things were really above my pay grade when it comes to your rates and the assessments and all that. The surcharge, which is near and dear to many of your hearts. Some of that stuff is really well beyond me. But I'll do my very best to address any of your concerns. I do have some information to talk with you about the CIP Capital Improvement Project that we're doing. I've also brought some great people along with me from customer service. I have Crystal in the back and also Mr. Pierre. It's Crystal, Mr. Pierre from customer service if you want to look at your water bill. And also we also bring gifts. We also bring some flappers and leak detection tablets in terms of water conservation and a lot of that stuff to assist you. I'm also happy to have the water plant manager, Mr. Carlos, who will talk with you about some of your concerns with the well out here, the water leaking or the water running on your streets, and have a better understanding why that's happening and what are we doing to mitigate some of that. And so once again, I'm honored to be here. Thank you all for coming. I know it's N&B night. I feel honored. But do remember, I'm the guy that prayed for y'all tonight. I do see my good friend, Mr. Ragu, just always a fine citizen for the great city of North Long Beach. I see Miss Laverne, God bless you. I do want to say about Jazz in the Garden. My wife and I had an opportunity to go both nights, and I said when I was in the city meeting today how everything was so splendid. I was so proud to see our people kind of come together, managed by our police department and our people. It was immaculate. It was just awesome. What an amazing event with so many people and no outbreaks, no fights, none of that kind of nonsense. I was so proud, and I was just glad that we were there from the beginning to the end both nights, and it was just an awesome concert. All Jazz in the Garden, may it live forever. God bless you, Miami Gardens. Kudos to all of you and the citizens of Miami Gardens. And I'm really proud that I've been pastoring in Miami Gardens for over 30 years. This year will be 31 years at a church right on 107th, 20th Avenue, Holy Faith Missionary Baptist Church. And I'm so proud of all that's happening. I see a lot of progress in Miami Gardens. So enough said about all that. Again, I'm here on behalf of the city of North Miami Beach. You probably have more questions than I got to tell you, but I can tell you about capital. I brought some information about, and I also brought my business card. And I'll just give you all my cell numbers, that way you'll know if you need to reach me. My cell number, I'm Greg Williams, my cell number is 305-733-6645. I did bring my business card, but the difference is, on my business card, my cell number is not there. But if you need to reach me, my number is 305-733-6645. You can write that down, but I'll still give you my business card so you can get me at my desk. Sometimes I'm not at my desk, I'm in the field. And you may, as quick as you just call me on the cell. You can call me on the weekends, 24 hours a day. I'm really about public service. The paper I just gave you, we're doing a capital improvement CIP, we call it CIP. There's money that the city has gotten to improve the pipes and the water system. And so that's a project that we're doing in Honey Hill. And that's not too far from here. There's water, there's restoration of pipes that we're doing over there to improve replacement of old pipes to improve the water distribution in that area. So that's a project that's going on. I don't know if any of you are living in that area, If you're over this way, maybe a little bit, it's over 199th on that, over on that side. That's the big project that we're doing here in Miami Gardens. I don't know what question, oh, by the way, be sure before you leave, be sure to get a bag from over there. As I said, we have flappers and protection tablets. Now, I'm open for questions. What I don't know, I'm able to get with professionals in our city and get back with you. You have my number. I'll definitely get back with you, and we'll be able to, figure out what your concerns are and try to address it. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Do we send our questions to your email, or do we ask them here?
You can do both. You can send it to my email, and you can ask right now. I'll try my best to address it. We're gonna take note of your information. If I'm not able to answer your question, and I don't have the appropriate answer for you, we'll take your information and we'll get right back with you on tomorrow with the appropriate answer.
The question I had, it relates to the water and the septic. How can a resident be connected to the main city water instead of having septic? Because me personally, I've been having a lot of issues with my septic system, and the people that I saw who claim that they do septic, say they license and all of that, I've been getting ripped off with money, and the problem is worse because they don't do the job correctly.
Right.
And so I just wanted, is there a program or a way for me to rid myself of septic altogether and get connected to the city?
Right. There's not a program at this time right now. I know Dade County is working on something in certain areas. Customer service would be best to answer that question. The manager for customer service, Mr. Jim Tiger, will address that question. I know if you did it on your, there's programs where you don't have to come out of your pocket. But that it's not pertaining to this area or in most of the areas in North Miami Beach. But I hear Dade County is doing it in isolated areas for certain reasons, maybe because of the water levels. But if you did it on your own, it's quite expensive to connect to sewer, from septic to sewer. Ideally, it's the greatest thing in the world, it really is. But it would be quite costly. How that all works and how it all plays out, we can take your information and I'll send something to you, and I'll have someone call you at a minimum to kind of give you more insight about that. And your name, ma'am?
Denise Brown.
Okay, can you give Crystal your information? And we'll call you tomorrow about that. Okay, I don't know who's first. I see you. I'll take this lady and then I'll come to you. Yes, ma'am.
And at a minimum, how much do you think it costs to connect to the?
Yeah, I've heard numbers like $6,000, $6,000 to connect to septic.
Because I had heard figures like 30,000.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. So maybe you know more than.
Those are the numbers that I have, and I'll tell you why I have. Those are the numbers that. There's isolated areas in Dade County that's getting connected, and the buy-in, the language that they're using to encourage people to sign up who have the option to get it for free because it's a special program. Those are the numbers that I've heard. It's around $5,000 or $6,000 to connect. Now, if it's more, then maybe I've been misinformed. But those are the numbers that I've heard.
But didn't you say those weren't in our areas? Aren't they like down in Miami Beach?
Yeah, down in Miami Beach, down that area where the water levels, where they almost have to because the septic tanks are going to be popping up after a while. And so that's why it's almost a state of emergency. That's why they're kind of doing it.
But I heard that they're trying to encourage people to do it, so, they should do it in all areas.
Yeah. I guess it's all about the money. I guess it's about, the dollars. And, if they did it in all areas, it will definitely be, you'll be dinged on your taxes if they did that. I don't know. I'm really not. I don't know.
I think many of us would do it if it was a decent price and, we could afford it.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's something that we're not offering right now.
Before, do North Miami Beach control the sewer also or the supply? Because I think that's the first question.
I believe we control the sewer as well.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Now, in isolated areas like Dade County, unincorporated Dade areas, where if you're paying your water bill to Dade County, that area, that would be Dade County managing that area. But if you're paying the water bill to us, that area, we pretty much manage. All that's ours. Ms. Laverne.
Okay, so I have two, I live right here in Norland, and I'm a long-term resident here.
Okay.
One question, I got a lot of calls the other day from residents who received this, letter about turning off their water.
Okay.
And when they call the customer service, they can't get through. So you have this number on there that you're directing individuals to go to when they have questions and concerns. And I tried it myself, and I got no response.
Yeah.
And I think that if we're gonna have customer service, that's what it really should be, service to the customers when they have these questions, rather than having the fear of their water turning off and can't reach anyone. So that's one thing with the customer service, and then I would also like to talk on the sewer.
Let me do the first one, because I want to be able to, and I don't want to get bogged down, I don't want to miss. That's true. We did have a problem, or we're having an ongoing problem because of the overabundance of calls that are coming in, and we're not staffed enough to be able to manage it all. So we're working on means to get it under control. You're right. I've gotten some calls. People have called my line directly because they could not get over to customer service. Customer service has been somewhat overwhelmed because of the onslaught of so many calls coming in. And so we're trying to mitigate that, we're trying to improve upon that, and I will take that to the powers that be at top that can help us to bring on more staff, and we're trying our very best to improve that. But you're absolutely right, we're working on that, and the calls that I get, I try to help them, navigate them to the people who can help them because sometimes people don't have the money, so we work on payment plans to assist them to make sure that they get the kind of service that they need, and that their water is not turned off.
Okay, so that's the piece of make sure you're not turning off water, because you have to understand that you have an issue with reaching people trying to make.
Right, we're trying our best not to turn people off by the payment plan, put them on the payment plan. We're trying to work with people because we're in a pandemic, we're coming out of a pandemic, and the economy is changing, it's difficult. So NMB is doing their very best to work with people with their water. And in fact, a good friend of ours, Bofa, told me he was really happy. I saw him at Jazz in the Garden yesterday. He was really happy with the fact that NMB, he called me, and I connected him with Miss Gilmore with the city, and he was happy the way the outcome was because they put him on a payment plan that was comfortable for him to pay. And that's what it's all about, you know.
Okay, so we first gotta be able to speak to someone, not everybody have your access.
Yeah, but everybody in this room has my telephone number.
All right.
That's myself. You can holler at your boy anytime.
I know.
Anybody,
The second one is on the sewer. It's an environmental issue and it's not an individual issue.
Yes.
Because the water here, we pay our water to the city of North Miami Beach. What
Yes.
can we do collectively? Because when I'm telling you, I'm so upset with the water system and the sewer system and the flies and it is just nasty. And if there's anything that I can do as a resident collectively to help everyone with it, to go down to the mayor, because yes, I see that there is money going into Miami-Dade County to replace their sewer system. Is there any money within the infrastructure bill that was just passed federally that can come down to us locally to help us with?
Yes, the money that's coming in I don't know how that's managed. Miami Gardens got some of that money. NMB got some of that money, everybody's got some of that money, and I don't know how they manage it, but I would, if I was a resident in this city, I would go to, when we have our commission meetings, they're every second Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And, you know, somebody said the squeaky wheel is the one that gets the oil. Make your voices heard. Just go there and share. Come to the podium. The same thing that Ms. Laverne intelligently just spoke and shared her concerns. And I think our mayor and commission, as yours are compassionate enough to hear your concerns. And I think they will do their very best to try to address it. Like you're talking about flies and all, it is a public health issue. And so we need to see what we can do to improve upon it. Of course, I'm just a voice. I work for the city. I will definitely share with my director, Ms. Suarez, Andrea Suarez. She's director for NMB Water. I was formerly working in City Hall. I was chief of staff for about 3 years, and I had the ear of the city manager. But this city manager, he's open-minded, and the mayor and the commission, they're the same people that's there. I think they would like to know your concerns. So that's what I would do. I would share with them. But I don't know how the funding. Miami Gardens got some money, and everybody's got money. Everybody's doing what with the money as they see fit. I don't know, but I think that's something you need to bring up before mayor and council.
Will do, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Who's next?
Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good to see you again.
I'll be back.
Okay, I know.
I wanted to ask, because I had a situation, I have a pool. And I want to know what the policy is where the pools are concerned. Because we emptied the pool, and I don't know whether it's twice a year that it fill up, but what they gave me was a price that I had to pay because we refilled the pool. And when I got there, it was all different, and I don't understand why. But it was different than when I was told, so it's rather someone either not knowing what the job is or what the policy is. But tell me how it works when you have to empty it and refill it.
Okay. So now, go ahead, please. Go ahead. He works in the department.
This is how it works when it concerns the pool for anybody that has a pool, right? You get a credit towards it once a year, all right? So the way it works is the amount of water it took for you to fill up the pool, we wait till that billing period to come to see how much more water you got charged for. And then we take that amount and we give you a credit towards that portion only for whatever amount of water it took to fill that pool.
So you allow that to happen once a year?
Once a year, once every 12 months.
Yeah.
Yes, once every 12 months.
And then I used to tell you how much it takes.
No, you don't. We could figure that. We see all that. So what you do is, like, let's just say you did it April 1st.
Okay.
You put a request in via email. You come to the office with a letter and say, hey, I filled up my pool April 1st. I got done April 5th. And then you requesting a one-time credit. It comes back to us in the billing department. We go in, we look at the water usage, and we see the average you normally use and how much more did it go up the next billing cycle. We have to wait till the next billing cycle. All right? So if we see that you use 12,000 gallons, we give you a credit towards that 12,000 gallons only, not the whole bill, just for that water that you used to fill the pool. That's it.
So when you say credit, you mean you're erasing
So
that
just
amount,
that amount,
or you're just charging you the regular bill?
the regular bill.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Pierre. Who's next?
I have a question about this, we were talking about going from septic to sewer. Was there a number to call, or we just have to wait until it comes to this area with the grant?
We're not offering it at this time right now
Okay.
that I know of, but you can always call and make your, request known to the mayor commission. You can always send an email in to, or just call the mayor commission or the city manager's office. All those numbers I have. and let them know, how you feel about it, or come to the commission meeting and share. And also share it with your commission.
An alert to let people know not to, folk to say,
Yeah.
we're having a problem, don't
Yes.
worry, and with some instructions.
Right. Kristen, you work over there. Why don't you share with us? You're on the front line with the phone.
Yeah, so this is pertaining to like getting alerts if there's water, like if there's work being done?
With the phone overload, if you're getting too many calls and you can't address those calls, what messages are we sending? Are we sending messages out to the residents to let them know that we realize that we're not getting your calls? Is there something that they're doing along that line by any chance?
Right, so right now we are working on a certain system where we will be able to get alerts to make sure we call people back, customers back. Leaving messages, because we check our messages 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and the evening. Email, we respond back through emails, but getting alerts right now, that's something that I will bring to the attention to start happening.
I want to say something in general for everybody about the phone calls and not being able to get somebody, right? I understand it can be frustrating when you want to speak to somebody, but I also want to let you guys understand, we built for 7 cities, water. So it's not just Miami Gardens calling us. We have Miami Gardens, Golden Beach, Sunny Isle, North Miami Beach.
We understand that most utilities like FPNL, they service the entire
Right,
state. Wait, let me finish. So when we're talking about customer service, that's putting your customer first. And our concerns are, evidently it's a problem with streets flooding or whatever. There's gonna be a lot of calls.
Yep.
This is one issue, but it will come up in other ways. And so when those things happen, there should be an automatic alert that goes out to residents to say, no need to call in, we're aware of this problem, and we will contact you or give you an update.
Okay. When you sign up to our Water Smart, which is in our city website, we do send out alerts through that when you...
That's not the same. You don't have to sign up for anything with that PA.
Okay, this is the thing. We don't have everybody information to give you an alert. So in order for us to send you an alert, you will have to sign up in our program where we have your information. Because there is people who we send alerts out to.
Not everybody's capable of that kind of stuff.
I understand.
This is what he's talking
So
about.
if the people are not capable of having it, how are we going to send you an alert? You ask for information. Once your information is in our file, 1 second, right?
But her point is, and just a lot of people's point is, you need a different way of customer
He's trying to
service.
address it,
Now,
and then we're gonna get it clear, but please.
here's the thing. You go on our website and sign up for our portal. There's a lot of benefits to signing up to our portal that a lot of people don't get because some people choose not to. But I'm telling you, that's the best thing you want to do because the things that you're asking about now, like if we know there's going to be, the water's going to be shutting off our main break or anything, we send these alerts out. It goes straight to your email. You understand? But now if you're not in our system, you're not going to receive it. And we're not going to know to send it to you if your information is not in our system.
I understand that. What I'm saying is, in order to have a bill, first of all, you have home numbers, you may have some emails, you may have different types of information on different people. So you should be able to send out a robocall to the home phone, whose ever text sales you have, be able to send out a blast that way.
Yes.
But to put it on the residents to resolve an issue that you know is there, that you know customer service cannot handle, doesn't make sense.
Right, so we just had a meeting on Friday, so we are doing a test run. We're starting with the North Miami Beach residents who signed up for the program that we were giving out within the city. So we're doing a test run to send out alerts in that case. And if there's any water breaks or if there's any projects going on, programs, we're gonna start that test, run a test trial first with them and see how we get the response back. But we have to reach out to these customers, get emails, get phone numbers, And a lot of customers, they are not actually in the person's home. So it's kind of hard for us to get in contact with them.
And
So-
of course, you may not get everyone.
Right, so, but we are reaching out and we are trying to see how this test run go first and see how it goes with the city of North Miami Beach residents. And then if we see that it's successful with the customers, then Miami Gardens, Sunny Isles,
That's the customer's responsibility.
will then, follow through. But right now, we just spoke about this on Friday.
But that is something we are working on.
Yeah.
To get, but at the same time, we still need the people's emails and phone numbers to even send out the alert. Because sometimes people come in, open the account, then they'll put a number, their numbers change. But once we have, and that's what we're working on now, to get as much information from customers, so that way we can give them this information when certain things occur, whether it's through a robocall or through the email. But that is something we are working on at this moment.
We're definitely working on the robocalls and improving on the communication to you. We don't want to sound as though we're, holding you accountable for us, because when you do apply for NB water, you give us some sort of information.
Exactly.
And whatever you give us, we're gonna do our very best to respond to you in emergencies where we cannot respond on the telephone calls. And that's in our court. We have to do a better job of that. Yeah. We will. I don't know who you.
Yes, I just want to say, as a senior citizen,
Yes, ma'am.
not all of us are techie.
Yes.
And what Kim was saying is true.
Yes, ma'am.
It's very difficult to reach, but I see FPNL does it even when there's a hurricane or something coming up.
Yes.
I'm with Miami-Dade Water. So I've seen, even when there was a major water break in my area, I didn't even know it was happening. I was in the house.
Right.
And I got a text. But the thing is, North Miami Beach have to have a plan. If you're gonna send me a bill, you have a way of reaching me. That's my point.
Right.
Should they?
I mean, you're gonna take my money. You know how to get that. You know how to turn me off, but then you turn me on and let me know what's happening. That way I'm an educated consumer. Yes.
I wanted to touch on the, Laverna speaking in terms of the collective effort. I think we should have a three-pronged approach. The first being the city of North Miami, because that's where you pay the money to, so they have a responsibility. Secondly, we are a resident of Miami Gardens, so we ought to speak to the city also, because they receive funding and maybe can assist. And the third one, that we are resident of Miami-Dade County District 1, to make that approach to the county, because the bulk of the infrastructure money come to the county. So, if you're going to organize that, let's have that, and we need to speak in terms of the emotion. A lot of the residents of Norwood area are elders.
Yes.
The hardship comes in terms of being able to afford that, along with the cost of everything, especially where you have a two-family situation and one have transition. Now that burden is on a single widow or widower in order to afford that cost. So this is the emotion we have to take towards all departments, let them know that there is a hardship in trying to convert beyond the environmental situation, and let's have that. So if you're willing to take that lead, let's get the bodies together, organize to go to the three parties, the city of North Miami Beach, the city of Miami Gardens, and Miami-Dade County, and I'm pretty sure there will be a resolve somewhere. If each party give 1/3 of the funding to assist, 3/3, and then you have it done. So I'm going to take the lead. I'm here to help you.
What are we talking about, the sewer thing?
I'm speaking about the conversion from sewer, from septic to sewer in terms of the collective approach. Because if you don't ask, because that's what happened in other communities, they demand and they get results. We sit back and wait and nobody comes to you. So we have to demand and have the approach in terms of, we have to bring in that emotion in terms of our elders and the hardship that it creates.
I agree.
Next. Who's next? I see him.
Well, I was gonna just follow up on what was being said before.
Yes,
In
ma'am.
reference to getting the information out to the residents, because I live across the street. And, I go for walks in the morning,
Yes.
and then when I come back, the street is flooded. Where do I go? The sidewalk is flooded. There's no way for me to walk, and I'm not aware of what's going on. And every day, the streets are flooded. What's going on? What's happening? We haven't been notified as to, what is happening. Why is it that the water is being, let out like that? You have a school with the kids there, they're going to school and all this water. If like she said, if you can send us a bill, there must be something that can be printed, that can be attached to the bill to notify residents, this is what's happening. Or why is the water being wasted? To me, it's being wasted, we don't know. Is there bacteria? Is there testing? Is there something? Even in my front yard.
TSAs on your local
it's
television
very-
station could work also, you could take
Yeah,
the
it's very,
TSAs of
it's
your local
flooded, I
station.
can't come out my house.
We did mass communication when we were doing the testing. I think the testing took place in November. Right, recently there's been some water in our driveways, and he'll talk about that. But during the testing period, we did a mega, very bold, ambitious communication. We put it on the bills. We had signage. We went social media. We really tried to do a real aggressive communication about the testing that we were doing. I'm gonna let Carlos talk a little bit about that because he specializes in that. He's the plant manager. He'll talk about what's happening right now, and he'll talk about the testing that was going on. So I think he needs to address you. Everybody, this might help everybody. So Carlos,
Let's go to the question.
Yeah.
So my name is Carlos Carrazan. I am the water plant manager. I have been working there for 14 years. When I get there, Mr. William was already manager a long time ago. But my point is this, guys. We are trying to process the water. So what happened? Over there in North Miami Beach, Norwood, in Norwood water plant, we have a water plant. We are taking the water from the ground. We are opening a hole in the ground. We are putting a well, and we are sucking the water from the ground. We take the water from the water plant. We process the water. We make it potable. We disinfect the water in the water plant, and we send it to your house. That's what we are doing in the water plant. What happened? While we are overflowing the street every day, Saturday, including this Saturday and the Sunday, we did it twice. Why I'm doing that? I just give you the paper. We already put it. We put it since January. At the beginning of January, we are doing this. Why we are doing this? The health department requests that when we are taking that water from the ground, that is not processed yet, it's raw water. That's raw water you see in the street. That's raw water. We need to disinfect that water before we send it to the water plant. The one we are doing, we are putting a lot of bleach in that well. It's a pump. We are disinfecting. Just give me a second. I'm going to explain you a little bit. We are disinfecting that well. After that, we need to take 10 samples. So when you see those guys there flushing the water, they are taking one sample. After that sample, we have to process for microbiology. If that result is positive, we have to do it again, and again, and again. If the result is negative, we have to do it 10 times. 10 times. When we get the 10 times negative result, then I can submit the document to the health department, and they will allow us to use that water. I wanted to apologize with you guys. I know I am flooding your house. I don't know if you saw that we was shooting the water to the air. Now I am not doing that. I am putting the water to a hose. I am looking for a way to improve it. I am going to look for something better to do. But the problem is we have to let the water going out to take the sample. No, that's raw water. That water is coming from the ground. It's just a pump to push the water out. It's not processed water. It's just raw water.
Right.
And that water is eventually going to
You're
go
not getting
where?
charged for that.
Say again?
Where's that water eventually going to go? Into the tank?
It's going to go to the ground. It's just raw water coming from the ground. It's going to go out and then come back to the ground. But at the same time, it's flooding your house.
Well, why do you have to keep testing it? You said
The health department requests us to take sample before we send that water to the water plant.
I know, and that when it's sent to the water plant, that's eventually gonna be our drinking water?
No,
No, that water is in the street. After the health department allows us to take that water, then we process that water in the water plant, and then it's
And
coming
comes
back
to
to your
your
house.
house.
But the one is in the street, it's in the street. That's not going
Right,
to the
when
water
it comes to
plant.
our house, that's gonna be our drinking water?
No.
After go to the water plant, we process, and then we'll go to your house.
Right.
To drink, yes ma'am.
But the water,
Some of us drink out of our tap.
It's going to your house by the pipe.
whether it come from your tap or whatever, ma'am, the water that comes through your tap or your faucet, that water is processed, that water is purified, that water is clean.
Right, that's what I'm saying,
Whatever
that
he's
water that
testing.
you said that came out positive, but then negative,
That's just going to the street, that's going back to the ground.
I know.
going back to
That's raw water.
Right.
but it took you a lot of times to get to the,
We are agreed.
Well,
What
he's
you
testing.
need.
It took us a lot of time. We are trying to do it, but it took a lot of time.
And we're testing for the bacteria to make sure it's drinkable.
Is there any way we could harvest that water to use, and water our lawn?
recycle.
Yeah, good question, that's
Is there any way
something,
we
that's
could
something
do
we can check into.
So, as I said, we need to take the water out to the ground,
Right,
take a sample, and process and treat it for microbiology. That's the process. It's required. In the paper I give it to you, it's explain why we have to do it. It's a AWA requirement and it's a health department requirement.
I understand, I'm just saying, instead of wasting the water,
Can we-
flooding the
can you put it into
streets,
something?
is there any way we can
Recycle
harvest it so as residents we can water our lawns?
Like in a well or something like that.
It's raw water. That's no water for drinking. That's
No,
No,
for grass.
Water the lawn, water the lawn, to use it on the lawn.
let me go back and check with what we can do. So maybe we
We
can.
understand,
Instead of
That is another
wasting
way.
the water,
Yes.
we could probably use it to water our lawns.
some cities do
Broward
this.
County is recycling the sewer water and watering the golf courses and so forth. You may want to look at Broward County in terms of what they're doing and how they're harvesting that water. So rather than waste, it could go to maybe, I don't know what rock we have here that we can utilize, but that's something that you can look into with Broward County.
And you'll see in Tallahassee, you see the purple pipes, that's, recycled water that they're using, and they use it for grass and everything.
Right.
So, I don't know, you tell me who's next.
I want to finish up on a question you
Yes.
had about the payment. Now, I don't understand this. I've gone up to Miami Gardens and talked to your people when they're there.
Right.
So they had an outrageous $200 water bill.
Mhm.
I don't use that much water,
Right,
okay? Because that's just me.
right.
So I said, what is this water? Oh, well, that came from when they was doing the billing. I say, this is not my bill.
Right.
So she said, okay, well, what we're gonna do, that's when they were taking so much off of your bill.
Mhm.
That's when we went downtown and we went to North Miami and
I
Fort
remember
Ford,
that.
and they were supposed to take it off. Do you know they put it back on there?
I think I was talking to Ms. Fine, I was speaking with someone, were you the lady I was speaking
No,
with?
you would,
Okay, no,
they put it back on there and I was just up there. She said, oh, that's for the residents of North Miami Beach. Now, you know that didn't sit well with me.
We can look at, Crystal is back there, at the end of the meeting, we can kind of look at and identify what charges you have and see how that all came. I don't know.
And as far as you're talking about the recyclable water, go and do your research on how you do it. They recycle the water that comes out of Africa. No water is wasted. That water is always piped through, recycled, and gone to another community.
Right.
They waste no water.
Yeah.
I'm sure those people that wash cars, they have those big tanks, I'm sure they'd love to have that water.
Right.
Instead of stealing it from residences.
Okay, I know this issue has been litigated, but however, I have not been in these meetings and I would like to know the reason why. Now, our water is high enough. The sewer is high enough.
Right.
So why is there a 25% surcharge included? Now, listening to this young man, he said that you guys are servicing so many areas. So now I really don't understand why is there a 25% surcharge. I think that is price gouging, and I think it's too high. It's very expensive. My water bill, I'm hearing her say 200, mine is 500. And I do not understand that. I just recently started watering my grass because I got my landscaping, but I just don't understand why is it so expensive? And now, only 5%, why can't it be
Because they
lower
can.
than that?
Well, statute.
In my opening conversation, in my opening words, I told you a lot of questions on the surcharge are really above my pay grade.
I understand
It's
that.
in legislation. I know there's been some legal gambling going on between the cities. I don't know where that's all at. I can tell you this, 25% surcharge, as he said, all those other cities, they're paying it as well. But I know Miami Gardens is Miami Gardens, and the water plant is right here. Okay, I get it. But I know there's a lot of debate going back and forth. I really don't have the answer for you. And I did that in my opening statement. I knew that was coming up because it came up when I was here 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I've always told you, and I've always been transparent, very honest. It's something in legislation that has to be done in Tallahassee and or in the courts, to be quite honest with you, because that 25% is across the board with all of the different municipalities except for North Miami Beach, because they own utility.
Okay,
I guess it's kind of like the benefit of living in that city.
No, I'm trying to figure out why, because I know I spoke to some people in Andover. Andover is not paying the prices that we are, and they're farther than we are. So I'm trying to say, can I be connected to Miami-Dade, or is that possible?
I do not know. I don't know. Andover is part of Miami-Dade, part of the WASA, Miami-Dade Water and Sewer, so that's probably why, I don't know.
And also, my second question is, I think it maybe 2 or 3 years ago, they went back to monthly.
Right.
So why did they go back to quarterly? Monthly works better for me.
Okay, so with that,
The quarterly, you're actually paying, you was actually paying more.
Yeah.
So they did a test run for the monthly to try to see if you'll make the bills cheaper. But now that you're getting bills every month, you're paying the same taxes every month instead of once every 3 months. So that's why it went back, because you were actually paying more money that 1 year.
About my
Jennifer.
Excuse me, sir. I've been holding up my hand for so long. I live at the corner of 195th there, and there is no way I can come out of my house without the water is 3 feet or 4 feet high at my gate. What happened? And you know what happened now? It have a sinkhole now in front of the house. From the water. From the water.
So I want to apologize. If you have a problem, please call us.
I called the water place over there. You know what the number for the water place is? 305-652-6460. I call it until I remember the number.
That's the emergency number for the water plant.
That's right. And I call them so many times.
You need to call customer service.
I call customer service.
But right now we are going to get your address and we are going to visit your house.
So when are you going to stop testing the water?
As I said before, we need to meet some requirement. We need to take 10 samples.
So you don't take it send down yet?
We are trying to do as fast as possible, but we need to take 10 negative samples to treat the water.
So how many you
Well,
got?
the last time I spoke to somebody, Saturday, they said they have 3 more or 4 more samples to test, and it's going to be Saturday and Sunday. They're going to do that. Then
So-
Saturday and Sunday, they'll get no testing?
So we was doing 1 sample in the morning and 1 sample in the afternoon. And we did a Saturday and we did Sunday. All of those samples was positive.
Oh boy. Oh my God, I don't know what.
We are going to try to do this as soon as we can. We are going to look for a way so we don't flood the place, but
I couldn't go to church, because if I step in that water, I have to take my shoes off.
So
I couldn't go to church.
let me tell you something. What about if we do it once a day, not twice a day?
Once a day.
But it's going to take longer.
But then you can't get back in the house.
Yeah, and you know, I can't get into the house, neither in or out.
For the last 4 months,
We are agreed.
you've been flushing. Now, you know all the residents in the neighborhood, there was no notice sent to us.
We did the notice by the way he said, by
You have
online.
my address. Put it in the mail. Like she said, there are too many seniors around here. They are dumping the water inside the school. The kids were not able to do.
We can't hear everybody.
I complained, and then they ran that and go. But when they open the water, they take 5 to 6 hours running it constantly for 4 months.
It's crazy.
So now, if you run it twice in the day, keep in mind, like she said, sinkhole, because some of the area is soft right now, 5 to 6 hours. And some of us, the water is coming up our driveway. So how can you resolve that for 4 months? I sent a letter to Miami Gardens. I think they forwarded to Mr. Williams. I took pictures because this was too much. One time you have bleach in the water and wind.
See my car.
You smell the bleach, the cars and everything. And nothing was said to the neighbors, to the residents around the area. That is not fair to us.
Just give me a moment. We did a very robust, aggressive mail out on your bill, and we tried our very best to get the word out that the flushing was going to happen. What I'm most concerned about is the overwhelming amount of, I had no idea, maybe Carlos, that is so much water.
Yes.
I didn't realize that it was that, as you're describing to me. I think we did a good job, but we missed out on some folk with getting it out. Some of you might have gotten the message, but I had no idea it was so overwhelming amount of water that as you're describing.
My car right now need a paint over because the water that splash up on it leave the spot. If you look at my car, I have to paint it over because I wash it. And you can see the spots of the water because when you park it there and the water is so much in the street and the car drive by, it cover over the car with the water. That's crazy.
We're gonna have staff come take pictures.
You can see my car.
Okay, Jennifer, go ahead, because we're supposed to leave here at 8 o'clock, so we have to move it.
Okay.
Let's take a minute.
Who's next?
Right
It's
here.
up to you to select.
Jennifer.
I have a comment and a question. My question is, how many areas do you service from this plant over here, this water plant over here? How many areas do you service from this over here? And my comment is, maybe it's time, or it should have been, that you guys just look into other areas, other communities, other counties, and see how they are doing it, because it's the same thing. They need to filter their water also. They have to flush it. They have to test it also. But it's not fair for this community to suffer with all that water that's not healthy for them. It smells, and on the long run, that's when the consequences are really gonna come in, and who's gonna pay for that? Who's gonna help out this community over here?
Well, to the first question, how many communities we serve?
We provide water to 5 different cities.
No, from this
From
over
those
here,
water
from this
This water plant, we provide water from 5 different cities.
And those cities are?
From here to the beach.
Sunny
Miami
Isles.
Gardens,
Okay.
North Miami Beach, Sunny Islands, Golden Beach, and Aventura. And some part of Miami-Dade.
And sometimes Opa-locka.
Yes, more places.
Yeah.
So we are not doing something to this community, no at all, guys. We have the water plant here, and we have the wells here. We are taking the water from the ground. Before we take the water from the ground, we have to process that well. We have to disinfect it. And because the well is here when we have to take the water out. There is no different kind of discrimination or something like that. They have been calling me, telling me, what you are doing is to us. No, I am not doing it. I am trying to follow a procedure that the health department is asking me to do.
That's understandable, but they are suffering, and other people are benefiting
Right,
from it,
right,
and the prices over
That's
here
my point.
are
Yeah.
sky high, so
We hear
they
you loud
should
and
be,
clear.
so maybe something must be done or can be done to help this
For
community over
about
here so that they don't pay
25%.
that much.
Right, we are going to look for another way.
They need to be compensated for their heartache.
We'll take it back.
Every single thing is there,
Okay, time is of the essence.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay,
We can come to your next meeting again, I'll bring other folks, we can address it more.
Can you
people
come
more.
next month?
Of course we can. What's your date next month?
It's on the 11th.
Okay.
Second Monday.
That sounds good, that sounds good.
okay, my question is, you said you all are back to paying it monthly?
Quarterly.
Okay.
I'll bring other people next time.
I pay my brother water bill every month when it comes. Half of the time, he's not even in town, but he still got the same water bill.
Yes.
Right, so you gotta understand, there's a active fee. So there's whether you're using the water or not, there's a general fee for having an active account that you get on your bill.
What's that cost on the bill?
Just, whoa. You have your monthly fees on there.
Anyone have their bill? Yeah, I got my bill right here. There you go.
So you tell me if you don't use no water, you still charge them the same thing?
That's what
Yes,
I'm
ma'am. The same way with if I'm using the internet or cable, whether I'm watching the TV or not, it's still a standard fee that I pay every month regardless.
And what's that scheduled fee?
Let me see, this bill, the minimum charges for this bill is $14.98. You have a hydrant charge, everything is self-explanatory right here on the left.
Break it down.
Besides the water consumption, everything is a fee. Every time a bill is printed, every single person we service get that same charge. And now, let's just say I'm gonna just use let's just say it's $50 total, right? I'm just giving a number, I'm not saying that's what it is. So, if all the taxes of the minimum fees is just $50, and you don't use no water, you're paying $50. Now, after the $50, is this, let me not give that example.
We're doing a hypothetical.
A hypothetical. So $14.98, everybody's paying that every month, whether you're using water or not, right? That's a minimum fee for just having an active water account, right?
Yeah, we consume a bill twice.
All right, the minimum fee. All right, look, the minimum fee for sewer is $36.57, right? And the minimum fee for the water is $14.96. So whether you're using water or not, those two fees you're paying, no matter what. Every single person, whether you're in Sunny Isles, Golden Beach, Avatar, Miami Gardens, Montgomery
But you
Beach.
tell me if I don't use water, y'all gonna still charge me all this money?
For having an active account, yes, ma'am.
Don't you have a vacation away
But it's
kind of
not for the water fee, but it's just,
There's a minimum fee for having an active account.
Yeah.
But isn't there a math that goes with that consumption?
Yeah, there's a
The
matrix.
consumption is a math that goes to
The consumption is a different charge.
What?
Yeah. But now we charge you for the amount of water that you use. I'm gonna speak in general to try to see if I can answer everybody's question.
Yeah, because the
About
meter
that.
is telling you the consumption. And then you're doing a multiplication for this, trust me, I've had water bills for like 30 years here. And this is how they explain it to me. And that's how you get that other number for the sewer, because they don't have a meter for the sewer. That's in my general.
Listen, your sewer bill, your sewer consumption, your water consumption is at the same time. If you have a sewer, you get your bill for whatever water come out your faucet, you get charged out for sewer going straight down.
Yes.
You don't need another meter in the sewer to read.
In the event you're using your restricted water, it's coming out.
Wait a minute, there's too many people talking at one time. And there's so many side conversations.
water about now.
Folks, yeah, thank you, Ms. Pierre. please be sure to take one per family, because those are leak detection tablets and also stoppers, flappers, so you need those.
I'm sorry, I understand your
Please
line.
pass them out to everybody, please.
I'm saying if you're using the spigot from your, you know, your home water, not your well, to water the yard or to water some plants or whatever, that is not going into the sewer system.
Right, but that's why I suggest what some people do, not everybody. They have a separate meter with that something, there's a separate charge for the water that they use, for the sprinklers, water they buy that does not get into the sewer. But if you want to use your general domestic meter to do in-home and outdoor stuff, you get in that one charge. People that have sprinkler systems, there's a separate meter, and that meter does not get charged for sewer at all.
The rest of when we went down there, no time beach, and tell the folks that our plan was to blockade the plant here, and he said, well, whenever they do it, arrest them. But he got arrested instead. But what happened with that search is that there are other counties in the north part of the state that sell the water to other cities. And as a result of that, that's their major funding source. And there is a deliberate intent by the state not to affect those poorer counties out there. Hence the reason we have to pay the price for them, because they do it for here, it have to affect them, and they don't have other source of income coming into the county. And that's a major situation that we have. But it is something we have fought, we have done to the county. There is a lawsuit that went on between the city of Miami Gardens and North Miami Beach, because when North Miami Beach transitioned into private ownership of the plant, they thought that there was a gap there in order to, based upon what the legislation states, that it's supposed to be city owned. I don't know what the status of that lawsuit is right now, but I know it's something that's been an ongoing fight for years, and we have been fighting that fight. But it's not at their level, it's at the state level to make that difference. But as I mentioned, the hardship is the other poorer counties that depend on that water surcharge in order to fund their budget.
And by the way, folks, just want to let you know, the 25% throughout the state of Florida is pretty much a standard. Someone said gouging, that's pretty much a standard. So I'm just kind of letting you know. And I inquired about that, but that's kind of like kind of standard out there.
Greg, if you may just explain the responsibility in terms of if there's a leak and it's suspected too high, where do the city responsibility take place from the meter, go back, or where if there is a leak?
Okay, from the meter to your house is yours. From the meter to the road is ours. So if there's a meter and you have a
hold up for a second. If the water bill is high, the first we want to check to see if there is a leak. I think that's why you give the blue tablet to check it in. So you want to understand if there is a problem, whose responsibility in order to challenge the increase in your water bill. So you want to listen to what
right. And there's another thing, and we were talking about the portal, the signing up for That's real important, because once you sign up, you're able to, you have a dashboard, and there's some information, you get notification to let you know, and I need to tell you this because this is preventive measures to help you, and it kind of gives you a little heads up, and we'll try to call you if we see your numbers are like out of the norm. If you normally use in a day a certain amount of numbers, a certain amount of water, and then all of a sudden you spike up, we'll try to communicate with you, but you may not be home. And sometimes we got so many accounts that we really don't have the sophistication right now to really manage that the way we will be in the future. However, you have the capacity and the availability at your cell phone to sign into NB Water. It's called Water Smart.
Water Smart.
Water Smart. If you got that app, you pull it up, you're able to see. It's going to tell you that your water is running, and you know nobody's home. Why is my water running? Because it may be a leak. But it's a preventive measure, and then you can respond to it. So that's kind of the benefit that you have. That's why we try to encourage. I know the lady mentioned My mother-in-law, she's 87 years of age. She's different. She's on Facebook all the time. But I don't know if she'll be able to do that app and be able to look at that. I guess she could, but that's kind of where we're trying to get everybody to get on board, to be able to pay attention to the notification, and I'll let you know what's happening with your water bill in real time. So you can, but there was another question that I didn't answer.
Hold on, Greg.
I wanted to tell you that.
I suggest everybody that's in here, I know everybody may not have a computer or be computer savvy, but everybody has family members, grandkids, daughters, somebody. It's very beneficial to sign up for WaterSmart. Because a lot of the questions with the notices and all that gets done through WaterSmart. And we don't have everybody's email to just automatically register them. So that's why we push, go on to the website, log in, create an account, log in, sign in, and you want to hit the check marks for everything that we offer, so that way you get notified for rent, all the stuff we have. Like he was saying, there's people who has a leak, and the people who sign up, they benefit a lot. Trust me, because I used to deal with collection. Right now I deal with credits, leak credit. So the people who sign up for this, once their water goes, if they average water use is 200 a day, once it hit more than 200, they just say 250, 300, it sends them an email, hey, you're using more water than you normally do. Then they can look at the dashboard and see, wow, my water's running non-stop. They call us, we look, we have a leak, here and get it fixed.
Even if somebody, I'm sorry to cut you off, but even if somebody set it up for you one time, if you have a cell phone that you can get alerts to, once they set it up one time, everything comes to that cell phone. So it may sound like, even if you come down to the city, I will stop what I'm doing and I will come out and help you. We have a computer that is set, help you set up WaterSmart. I will take that time and I will help you. We can make the account.
Can you do some of that tonight, Krista, by any chance?
We're not trying to do that.
If you have time. If you have time, we'll set
You can put it at your, right in your hand, everything.
Why not, then, okay, you have that technology, why not hold workshops? People can come out at their leisure and see how to do it.
Okay.
Everybody's not gonna get on everybody's not gonna have a computer.
Right.
And you used to have a public service announcement that would come on and let you know what's gonna happen, the water gonna be turned off, that was years ago. I've been here so with 66 years.
Was that on the Channel 77 or was that?
It was on a public, it was either 17 or 2.
Okay.
And it was done by.
That's Channel 77. That's the television station we had that you guys connected to. So we'll talk about that. We're gonna come back next month. So yes, ma'am. How you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
All right.
My issue that I had at my house was somebody put a door hanger saying they're gonna turn the water off. That was fraud, so I took it over to North Miami.
I heard about that.
Yes, I heard it. Also, Florida Power Light. Now, the lady was talking about how the water settled in her yard.
Right.
Okay, my drain field, the top is cracked. So I had the choice of repairing it or replacing it. I replaced it for about $3,000.
Okay.
So now I have a problem on my wall in the basement.
Okay.
The settlement is, and I'm like, where's this water coming from? So then when it rained real heavy, it was settling in the yard. But what happened was, it had shifted, and I knew it had to be that window. So that meant it shifted the window.
Okay.
So that means I have to replace the window.
Wow.
Now I either have that choice to replace it or put rocks or sand bags out there.
Wow.
So that's what I'm working on now. But that's what happened. I had to replace all the pipes throughout the whole house.
Right.
You don't want to know how much that costs. But it's the drain field. And that's why the flies and the water and the smell and all of that settles right in the middle of the yard.
Okay.
Saying how she's getting a sinkhole. My first question is the city of North Miami Beach going to be responsible for filling one resident who spoke of how things shifted? So when you let out all of that water sample, it shifts the soil.
So how is the city of North Miami Beach gonna compensate that resident for the shifting of their house foundation? It makes all of that. Also, Miami-Dade County has water so differently. They have I know your manhole covers may not be as big, but they suck the water up through the hole, test it, and they continually do that without flooding the area. So I don't understand if, like somebody suggested, you get with Miami-Dade County or other cities and find it a better, but are you really going to compensate these residents for the shifting of their foundations in their homes?
Burn the
Because
car.
it really, it shifts the road, it shifts the sidewalk, and that's the thing. I had the fire hydrant in front of my house let go 3 times. You say you do it annually, you did it twice, and then the fire department came by within the same month. So that shifts my sidewalk, that shifts my swale, and then when I called you, no one returned my call. How is North Miami Beach water? Because I feel you're responsible for to compensate us for those shifting soil or that shifting sediment. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna compensate us? And what solutions you're gonna come up with when you've gotta do a better solution. We're in technology. There has to be a better way to test the water.
Good question.
Well, after you answer, we have to wrap up because the cruise has 8, but